Dale, welcome to Coleraine Football Club. Tell us a wee bit about yourself.
So, probably go right back to the very beginning. I started in football when I was about 14 years old at Brora Rangers, a Highland League, 5th tier of Scottish football, and it was doing everything from selling 50-50s, filling water bottles, and eventually you work your way up. I was very fortunate. I'd worked for Roy McGregor, the chairman at Ross County, on and off 3 times in my career, and eventually he asked me to go into Ross County, and I had a really enjoyable period there. I'm forever grateful to Roy McGregor, the chairman, Stephen Ferguson and Stuart Kettlewell for the support that they gave me in developing my career, and then a bit of time down at Morecambe Football Club before moving to Green at Morton as general manager, where I join you from now. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey, but I'm one of those people that doesn't lay my hat in a specific place and don't mind moving about and experiencing new challenges and meeting new people. From my perspective, it's not to be involved with the football department. You're there as a support mechanism to the football department. You know, if they need help or assistance with anything, you're there to aid and support. But predominantly my role will be the off-field, and will be trying to enhance what's already been built here. It's not for me to come in and talk about what's gone before. It's for me to come in and talk about what we do going forward. And, you know, a lot of hard work over almost 100 years has been put into getting this club to the stage it's at today. Obviously, it's in a very exciting new chapter, as is the league. Not just this club, but as is the league. And, you know, we've got a real opportunity if we can all work together, supporters, players, staff, we can make this a really exciting chapter in the club's history. The opportunity of, as I touched on, a different league, a different country, different environment, different people, which can daunt a lot of people. And don't get me wrong, there is a nervous excitement, but I think to get the best out of yourself, you have to go and expose yourself to different things. And this is certainly something I want to do. It's something I want to test myself in, an environment I want to test myself in. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying I'm going to do everything right and I'm going to make every decision correctly, but everything will always be done with the best intention of the football club. And we live in a world now that everything is so scrutinised and microscoped in the public domain that sometimes you need to put a bit more thought process into what goes in the public domain and what doesn't go in the public domain. But from my perspective, when you relate that to this role, I think this club has been very open and transparent about where it wants to go and how it's going to get there. And that was a big draw for myself personally. I make no bones about it that, you know, my intention at the end of last season was to leave Green at Morton regardless of whether I had something or whether I didn't. I was probably a wee bit burnt out. You know, I was tired. There had been a lot of work from the team of staff at that club to get it to where it got to. So for me, it just kind of aligned really good timing, and I'm really excited about what we can achieve here together. It was very mixed, and I don't shirk away from that some people liked what I was trying to do and some people didn't. And listen, you've known me for a couple of days, David. I'm a certain type of character. I am a wee bit outgoing. I am a wee bit tongue-in-cheek at times. But because I come from the Highlands of Scotland, I have a Highland accent. I have an overly enlarged gut. You know, so I've always been judged on my appearance, and I've always been judged on the way I speak. Very seldom do you get judged on the quality of the work you do. And I accept that. There were things at times that in football, not just in my role, but in any role that you're het for or you get labelled responsible for, that you maybe didn't lead on or you didn't make that decision. But from my perspective, I'm very grateful to the people at Morton that did support me, because it was a tough gig. It was a really tough gig. It took a lot out of me physically, mentally, emotionally. It took a lot out of my family. And again, that's where I am really grateful. I had a very supportive board of directors at Morton. I had an incredible staff, and I know I'm now at a different football club, but I do have to thank them for the amount of support they gave me And like everyone in football, it's such an intense environment. You need to have a really good support network outside of your club. And I have that with individuals I've worked with previously. I mentioned to them earlier, Stephen Ferguson and Stuart Kettlewell. They two guys are always there for me. And, you know, that's a big part moving forward of how do I learn from the last experience to make it better for myself here, but also make it better for the football club here. I think that the passion that they've got, first and foremost, in football you can work with good people and you can work with bad people. In Henry, I think I'm working with a really good person. Now, I think people will, in football clubs, whether the chairman's called John, Lee or Philip is irrelevant to me. The chairman's called chairman. So when you address them, it's good morning chairman, hello chairman. And I think because of Henry's age, some people might not follow that discipline. Whereas for me, I think the age is irrelevant. I think you've got to always respect the individual that's in that role. And instantly, you know, when I first had discussions about this role, I actually asked Henry on a Teams call for an hour to discuss a few of the questions I had around what the role would look like, etc. And I found him very, very engaging and very open and transparent again, and not hiding anything, not going to let you walk into a scenario that was very different from the reality. So in that perspective, I can't speak highly enough about somebody that for me is doing not just a fantastic thing for this football club, but for this community and also for the wider football in this country. It's interesting, David, because every club I seem to have worked at is a one club county. So at Coleraine it's a one club county. At Morton it was a one club county. In terms of professional teams, it was the same at Ross County and the same at Morecambe. So from that perspective, I think you've really got to hone in on that. You know, there's not 4 or 5 teams in the same area competing for the same audience. At every club I've worked at, I've lived in the local area. I'm trying to do that at the moment. Not very easy with the rental market, but I do want to live in the local area. I want to get acquainted with the local people. The time that I've been here over the last few days, I've really enjoyed it. It already feels like home. And that's probably where, over the last couple of years, maybe 3 years since I left Ross County, I've tried to find a home. And this is the closest it's felt so far, and I think that will get stronger. I want to be very honest, I don't want to be the guy that's sitting here saying all of this bump right now and in 2 years disappears when the next opportunity comes up. I want to be here to build something. I want to be here for the next 5 years plus to try and build something that leaves a legacy and that people can look back on with great fondness and great pride. We've got the club's 100-year anniversary coming up. I think there's just so much that we can all sink our teeth into, but the important part is we all do it together. You know, we're all in it together. Supporters, players, staff, everyone has to be one unit. And, you know, if we do disagree with each other, if we do dislike each other, certainly my door will always be open. So I welcome that conversation, I welcome that debate. And for me, it's really about that collective one unit. Listen, I come from originally a small village of 1,000 people in the Highlands of Scotland that you were brought up principled, you were brought up with manners, you were brought up, in my view, the right way. And, you know, you show respect, you try and engage with people, you always try and find the positive in things. But equally, you always have to be looking at what comes next. You don't want to get left behind. I want us to be at the forefront. I don't want us to be sitting behind the other clubs in this division. I want us to be making positive swathes in every department, whether that's commercial, media, administration, governance. I want to see us be the club that everyone admires. I've already had this discussion where I want people, when they come to this football club, to feel like it's a prestigious occasion. You know, I want us to collectively, again using that word collectively, make sure we are the best in this country at what we do. Now that's going to take time, it's not going to happen overnight, but if we all can buy into that, hopefully it'll lead us to an even greater place. As part of my due diligence in coming here, I did a lot of that, and I'm looking at, you know, our average crowd last season was I think about 2,500. 12 years ago I think it was 5,000 or just over. So there is an audience there to be engaged. It's how we engage with these people. It's how we engage with the people that live 2 doors down from the stadium, as well as the people that live in the surrounding areas, to make sure that we have a core loyal base that will help us progress this football club in every waking hour that we've got. The one thing, and it's probably something I've been criticised for a lot, and it's something I am reviewing as part of coming into this job, is how I work. I am very intense on myself, and I'm probably harder on myself than anyone else will be. I think a lot of people in football now take being in football, professional football, for granted. I don't. As I said, I'm still the young boy from the Highlands that it was my dream to work in professional football. So when I say it's a privilege and an honour to be at this club, I genuinely mean it. And I don't take any minute of being in this job for granted. But with that, I put so much pressure on myself. I will be, in here at 6 in the morning, leaving at 8, 9 at night, and I have to reassess that for myself because it's not healthy. But within that, what I will make sure is that I give as much as I possibly can. I don't have a family, so I don't need to be running out of here at 5 o'clock at night to pick up kids. My energy and my focus will be on doing the best for this football club, for the players out on the pitch, for the supporters on the terraces here. My focus is on making sure that we all can leave a legacy here that we're really, really proud of, and that we make this chapter in the club's history one of, if not the best.